Hey everyone, it's Trader Rob. We've got a busy, high impact news morning, and we've got a contract rollover in oil. Let's get to that right after the intro. As always, nothing that I state on my channel is financial advice. Trading futures or any type of trading is risky business. Any capital that is put out there is at risk for loss. All right, so I had an interesting day in trading yesterday. Small green day in the eval account. Took a small red day in my cash account. Um, and there's some trades here that I want to kind of go over and do some quick explanations on. So today, like as I mentioned in the intro, we've got a lot of news this morning. 7:15 we had Canadian house starts. 7:30 we had U.S. retail sales and initial jobless claims. And then at 8:15 we've got U.S. industrial production. Those times are all in Central Time, which is where I am located. It is 8:03 on the 15th of February. All right, so we've got some news that are going to obviously move the markets. Before we get into some of that, let's just go over really quickly the trades from yesterday. Session one was a small loser at 12 ticks or 120 bucks. Took this just really in my cash account. Did not trade this in the eval. Kind of explained the reasons for that yesterday during the my video recap on that. And then session two, which I did trade in on the eval. Second session turned out to be, again, very profitable trade. We get that inside bar at 9:45 in the morning, and that thing runs for a full take profit of 23 points. So just remember the 23 ticks. Because before that, we got into gold session one, where we get activated to the long right at the 8:15 in the morning inside bar candle. Let's blow this up here a little bit. So again, you would have your entry order at the top of the inside bar, like so, and you would have your order to go short at the bottom of the inside candle, as you see. You let price action dictate which side it's going to go, and in this case, we did get activated into the long. So I will bring out my long tool and pretty much just put it to where our entry would be. Stop loss is very simple. It's at the bottom of our source candle, which is to the left of the inside bar. We're looking for 15 ticks, which we obviously do not get. And we take that loss there for 15 ticks. So we had a loss for 15 ticks. We had a winner for 23 ticks. We then take a profit yesterday of 80 bucks. And if we go to our top step evaluation every day, I go over the recaps of my trades, and I show exactly what our P&L was for the day. So we currently sit at $49,919, or minus $81 out of our $3,000 target. And we clawed all the way back. So I think we were down like 500 bucks. We've climbed our way back, and now hopefully we can add to these winners. Now, let's open up the Rob reversal. Okay, had a bunch of questions on this. So we had a setup at 7:45 in the morning to go long. This did meet the pattern condition, which what we're looking for. It did close above the ADMA, but at 7:45, this would be pre-session. So we would not have taken this trade. It does not fit the conditions that we're looking for. Now we're going through market open, and we then get a setup to go short. This is at 10:45. Now the time condition works, the pattern works, and closes below the ADMA. So this will be a go. This is an activation candle. And at this point, you would have your entry order one tick below the low there. So let's put it right around here. Okay. Now, does this activate on the next candle? No, it does not. Okay, so you do not get activated here. Now, as I do not trade this all day long, meaning that I am not in front of the charts from 8:15 or 8:30 to 1:15. One of our members has this built into a strategy, and it's pretty awesome. Now, his strategy is if this thing doesn't activate within this candle, pretty much orders canceled. Okay. Now, the way that, and this is the way I've been trading it for a long time, works great. It's been super profitable. I don't touch it. Works for me. Now, if this thing would have closed above the ADMA, I would say automatically a cancel. Okay. If this would have closed with as an up candle, automatically cancel it. But if you got in on this trade here, right here, I would say that's a good, you're still in this trade. It's a decent trade. It's a decent setup. There's still that downward momentum that we're looking for. This thing runs for about 32 points. So if you're looking at 35 points, profit or loss, stop loss or take profit, you know, in that trade, you would have ended up having a loser because it only went up to like 32.5 points once everything was said and done. So let's see here what gets tracked. Well, it looks like we've got a setup here in gold. So let me get ready for my morning trades. Stick around for the recaps. It'll be right after this, and then a recap for my day. See you guys here in a little bit.
Order canceled.
All right, so here's our first setup of the morning. In gold, we get activated into a short. As you can see, some pretty crazy price action with the early morning high impact news that I just reported on. And we've got news coming up pretty much at 8:15 also as well, Central Time. So there's going to be some volatility here in this price action. I mean, we've been ranging here now for the last 30 minutes and not real clear direction on market. So again, just kind of looking for some kind of movement that can help us get to our full take profit and hopefully take our first winner for the morning. Now, my experience has been with news, it's kind of a double-edged sword just because, you know, the overall edge does get diminished because of the impact that certain news events have. And some of them will, you know, obviously take you to your take profit. Some of them will just go absolutely insane where you get wicked in and then you get wicked right out in a matter of seconds. So it does become unpredictable to the point where, depending on what the news event is, sometimes I will just stay completely out of it. But that is usually reserved mainly for oil inventory. FOMC days could be a little bit more trickier to deal with. But those are just, you know, and it's unfortunate here because we take full loss on this one.
Stop filled. Order canceled.
All right, here we get into our second session in oil. We get activated here to the short. Oil's obviously had a pretty strong uptrend in the morning. So, you know, obviously you're fighting the trend here a little bit, but as you guys have, you know, if you've been watching my channel for a good amount of time, you guys understand that it's just temporary price action that we're looking for. I mean, and this is exactly what I'm looking for on a green trade, or I should say on a short trade. We get, I want to say 3 to 4 ticks away from full take profit. So feeling really good about the trade, and then the sucker just reverses on me pretty hard here. So still feel like there's a fighting chance. We start kind of flirting back with our entry line, kind of back and forth. But that that movement, obviously our take profit here was a few ticks under where we needed to get to, but that's the kind of movement that I'm looking for out of these inside bars. And if you go a few candles to the left, you see another green inside bar there. You get a strong movement in that opposite direction. So, as long as you're not looking for killings, which is not what we're not, there's some very good opportunities with these trades. And it's very rules-based, condition-based strategies that really don't allow me to exit losers early, and it hopefully doesn't allow me to exit winners early either. That's a really big issue with trading. And I will talk about that here coming up in my recap. So now, we've got pretty much everything working against us, because now we're right to the top of that range, and obviously a stop loss is coming.
Stop filled.
Well, simply put, an ugly ass day of trading this morning. None of the morning strategies, I should say, none of them worked today. It's funny because it seems like every time I get to break even and try to get into the green, I have a day very similar to today. And I cannot seem to get past that reoccurring theme. But there's some insight there that I'd like to share with everyone right after I go over the really quick recap for the day. Let's just take a look at gold. It's hard to show you the winners and the losers, because they were all losers today. We got activated here to the short in gold at 8:05, and this sucker never had a chance. This guy reversed all the way up. News actually came right out, I believe it was at 8:15, and knocked us out of that trade for a early loss of $210. And it didn't even stop there, because when the news hit, you got some serious slippage on the exit, and I ended up actually taking a $270 loss on that trade. On the eval, on the cash, it actually closed out right at my exit point, so the slippage wasn't the same there. Neither here nor there. In oil, we got activated to the short here. This looked very, very promising. Opposite of news at 8:15, and reversed back, knocked us out of this trade. 21 ticks. Didn't take this in the eval. Did take this in the cash. Very small position sizing on the MCL. Remember, today we moved our contracts to the next month, so we are in April right now, which is symbol J. Second session 2, which I was at least looking at it very positively. This thing came to about 70% of our take profit. Small trade, 15 ticks, reversed, knocked us out of this trade. So, tough one. All three strategies took a hit there. So that isn't going to help. And then if we take a look at the chart today for the Rob reversal, didn't take any trades today. No setup here worked or ended up activating. But let me just show you here a scenario that we that I explained to you at the beginning of this video, where we get a setup here to go long at 9:15. This is not a valid setup because it closes below the ADMA. Majority of you guys watching this video, I hopefully understand that point already. The very next bar, we get the pattern that we're looking for. We get a close below the ADMA. So we should have an order to go short right at 1 tick, which is really somewhere around there. 1 tick below the low of this wick here. and we don't get activated into that trade. And then this actually flips to an opposite candle. So we go from a red to white, or, red to green, whatever color candles that you're using. And this trade then gets deactivated right here. And then you've got another bar that would also, this is just a clear sign that this setup is not happening. If you guys remember, if you guys go back to my original video on the Rob reversal, I gave you guys very simple rules. Trade it from, or you can trade it whatever you want, but the way I traded is I traded from 8:30 in the morning Central Time to 1:15 p.m. I need to get the pattern that I'm looking for, and the pattern has to close above or below the ADMA based on the direction of that trade, okay? And the last one that I gave you was take that order one tick, have one tick of offset on your orders. I don't necessarily think you needed it on this one. I know you didn't, but that one tick of offset on this NQ trade is very important. And it will get you out of some jams. It doesn't filter everything. If there was that type of a strategy, we'd all be millionaires. But at the same time, it does a decent job of getting you out of some bad trades. So this setup was not valid at all. So that's hopefully here kind of another teaching moment. I know that there was a lot of questions in Discord yesterday based on the setup that we faced and if or not you should have gotten into that trade. So here we get another setup to go short, clearly above the ADMA, no trade. So overall today, the eval minus 420 bucks. So we kind of go right back down to the space that we were at. In my cash account, it's down 200. Sora's 290 something. Hold on, let me take a look. Control Center accounts down $296. So it's 2 red days in a row on the cash. Yesterday we had a real small green one. So here's the psychology of the trader. And I'm not saying that, I'm not a guru. I'm not, I definitely don't have all the answers, but I'm going to share with you guys a conversation that I had with my brother-in-law last night. So my brother-in-law he's a stock day trader, and he does it part-time. It's not his full-time gig, but he has been doing it for 4 or 5 years. He's actually the one that 3.5 years ago showed me at least the charts, and I've kind of given you that story already where, he got me into it. He got me understanding what I was looking at. The only biggest difference between me and him was I took the split where I really got intrigued in the futures market. He was in the equity side. So, but we all share very similar characteristics of trading. And we had a conversation late last night. I was actually asking him some questions on the PC, which had nothing to do with this, but we got into the conversation of trading, and we actually talked for about a good hour last night. And he was going through, maybe about 2 months ago, he was kind of going through a rough patch where it seemed like he was finding himself in a lot of revenge trades and some trading where it just didn't necessarily fit the best style of trading for him. And he actually determined that, holding on to positions longer has actually increased his profits. And I shared with him that the thing that has definitely helped me in this trading is, and I talk about this all the time, is the fact that when I enter into a position, I am willing to see that position go to full stop loss or full take profit. I am not willing to cut losers. I'm not getting anxiety about my candle coming, a few ticks from full take profit and then reversing back the other way. I told him, I'm like, listen, how many trades are you taking? And he told me the amount of trades that he was taking, and it was a lot. It's a lot. I mean, he's in and out a lot. And I told him, I said, okay, well, what's keeping you from staying in those positions all the way till full take profit? And he said anxiety. And I said, okay, well, let's look at that. And why do you feel like you have anxiety to get to full take profit? And he's like, well, I just, it seems to always reverse on me. And, then I'll get out, then I'll try to get back in. And then it ends up going to my original take profit. And I told him, well, what I felt helped me tremendously is position sizing. Okay. So if you're still feeling, if you still have that, and let's just talk about the Rob reversal, the NQ. 35 points is my take profit, 35 points is my stop loss. And I said, listen, on my cash account, I traded with 2 micros. 2 micros. I'm not looking to make a killing. I'm not trading it with 1 E-mini on my cash account. Just can't do it. And if I would have done it, I would have probably been up 10 grand already in the cash account just off of that trade. But that's not something that doesn't fit my risk tolerance. And it also allows me to be as cool as a cucumber to find that full take profit or to find that stop loss. And the fact that I only have 4 trades that I take every single day, it has eliminated me over trading or revenge trading. Today, classic example, down $420, down, let's say $300 on cash. Could I very easily get into a trade right now and make back that $300 in oil? Sure as shit I can. Okay. In fact, I feel like I have gotten so much better at price action that I feel very confident even looking at charts. But that's my biggest problem. And that's the problem that I have actually overcome, is I'm willing to accept my losses for the day to be able to fight the next day. Because yes, can I get back that $300 in cash, or could I get back that $420 on the eval? That sucks that we're going back and forth. I get it, but this is trading. This is why there's full transparency. All my trades are broadcast out there. So it's like a completely written journal or a viewed journal. And could I take another trade to get that back? Yes. Could I very easily take another trade to get me down to negative 800 or negative 600? That really affects my account. That really might change the view that you have the next day. Because let me tell you something. Let's say you're starting with a $5,000 cash account. Okay, my cash account, just put it out there, varies between 5 and 7 grand. That's what I trade with. And if I start taking a loss, let's say I take a $500 loss in a day, and I take another revenge trade to try to make back that $500. Now you're down $1,000. Now the next day you open up that chart, what are you thinking? Well, your thought process might go, well, I can't trade with an E-mini. I can't trade with that many contracts. I got to go down. But then if I go down, how do I try to make back the $1,000 that I lost? It's this endless cycle of trading that traps a lot of traders. So I'll take my loss and I'll fight for another day. And I finished my conversation with my brother-in-law last night, must have been close to midnight. And, we both when I explained to him the whole 4 trade thing, and here's another crazy stat that I just kind of thought about when I was talking to him. Probably since October, I haven't exited out of a position prior to my full take profit or my full stop loss unless there was a mistake that I did, there was an issue with some type of technology, which I'm in the process of changing my computer, and my goodness, what a freaking nightmare that is becoming. Still on my old one, and I am not switching over. I'm probably not gonna switch over until next week, because I'm gonna need the whole weekend just to make sure that everything is perfect. I'm done with stupid mistakes, and well, I say I'm done with stupid mistakes, but mistakes are gonna they seem to find me all the time. And where was I getting with that? Oh, since October of last year, this is going back 5 months, that I have literally been taking every single trade to full take profit or full stop loss. And then the only other condition that I have is on the NQ. Sometimes I will cut it loose 2:15, 2:30 in the afternoon, because that's when all
Order
those
submitted.
algorithms start pumping in. And as we're talking,
Order submitted.
well, here we go. So as I'm talking, we get activated into a Rob reversal. So right here, perfect setup. We get a down bar. We get our up bar closes within this body here. So now we've got an up bar. We are looking for 35 points, and we're looking for a stop loss of 35 points. How freaking awesome is that? So this was hopefully, not obviously not the right momentum that we're getting right off the bat here, but it's a trade that now is at 1 p.m. Now, if this trade, let's say, lasts until, I don't know, let's say 2:15, 2:30-ish, I'm willing to cut it off, even if it's in profit, even if it's in loss, because I just know that all those algorithms start to kind of kick in around that market time, and things get very, very nutty. So hopefully the stuff that I shared with you guys makes some sense, and hopefully it helps a trader out there. I'm obviously going to be keeping an eye on this trade. I'll give you guys the results of this trade in the morning tomorrow. Wish me some luck on the trade. I wish everybody some luck on the trade, whoever's in it. All right, that's all I got for today. Happy trading, everyone.